Tonight on News 5 Live, Belize extends a warm welcome to the Cuban president during his historic state visit. Belize and Cuba signed 2 new cooperation agreements. 3 murders are recorded over the weekend, and a professional cyclist needs your help to get back into the race. And the weekend sports roundup on Sports Monday. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Love Your Honda is back. This year, we are spreading the love in 3 locations: Belize City, Cayo, and San Pedro. In February, get special pricing and discounts on all Honda products. Enjoy up to 23% off selected Honda products, 20% off Castrol, NGK, and Magic products. Also, get free oil change and servicing when you spend $100 or more on Castrol oils. And don't forget your B-Bucks when you make a purchase. There will be a big bike rally throughout the streets of Belmopan and Belize City on February 11th and 18th respectively. Check out our Facebook page for more details on how you can take part. And on February 25th, we'll be hosting the first ever banquet boat show on La Isla Bonita, San Pedro. Honda products will be on display and you can enjoy deals and discounts. February is all about Honda. Available at Banquet, equipment, parts, service.
Love is in the air, and what better way to spread love than with the Samsung Galaxy? Get the Samsung Galaxy and keep in touch, share memories, and make new ones. This Valentine's, fall in love with our incredible deals with Samsung phones starting as low as $319 and the Galaxy Tabs starting at $389. Choose from a variety of models from the full Galaxy lineup, including Galaxy A03, A04e, A04, A13, A23, A33, A53, S20 FE, S22, S22 Plus, S22 Ultra, Tab A7, Tab A7 Lite, and the latest released Galaxy Z Flip 4 and Z Phone 4. Enjoy your device with peace of mind, knowing that your Galaxy device is protected by 1-year local warranty only when you purchase from authorized resellers countrywide, including Cellular World, Digi, Quartz, and Odette's Home Center. So make this Valentine's Day one to remember and spread love with the Galaxy.
By the end of this fiscal year, the government of Belize, through the Ministry of Infrastructure Development and Housing, will have built and handed over 262 starter homes. That's 262 more homes than were built in 13 years of the previous administration. These homes were given to deserving Belizeans all across the country, with the priority given to single mothers, the elderly, and the disabled. The government also provided material to fill lots before construction, and even built streets to lots without access. In just its first 2 years in office, the government has also completed a brand new community in Burrelboom, with houses including land handed over to 50 new homeowners. There is much more to come. This is governance for the people. This is a government delivering on Plan Belize.
Galenia Hospital, located in Cancun, Mexico's premier tourism destination, is a state-of-the-art healthcare facility that provides highly specialized medical services. We are Quintana Roo's biggest private hospital with board-certified doctors and staff. Some of our services include cath lab, adult intensive care unit, neonatal intensive care unit, emergency rooms, operating theaters, ambulance services, and more. We are a medically accredited hospital by JCI, Accreditation Canada International, and General Health Council, providing extraordinary care in every specialty, from our cardiology department to our neurology center. We are focused on treating the entire person, body, mind, and spirit. Contact us at medicaltourism@hospitalgalenia.com or visit our website at www.hospitalgalenia.com. Come to Galenia Hospital in Cancun for a truly personal medical care experience.
Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Monday, February 13th. I am Sabrina Daly. His Excellency Dr. Miguel Diaz-Canel Bermudez is the first Cuban leader to visit Belize. This made his visit on Sunday a historic occasion. President Diaz-Canel, his wife, and a host of Cuban diplomats arrived at the Philip Gosen International Airport just before 10:30 a.m. from an official visit to Mexico. There, they were greeted by a waiting party led by the Governor General of Belize, Forla Salam, and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Eamon Courtney. The delegation was then whisked off to the government house for an entire day of official events. In attendance at the government house were members of the National Assembly and the Diplomatic Corps. We note that Moses Shaim Barrow, the leader of the opposition, and Denise Barrow were the only two opposition members not in attendance. And while Patrick Flauber was present, he was not seated with the other representatives. Notwithstanding the opposition's majority show of support, during his address, Prime Minister John Briceño called for the lifting of the embargo by the United States and the removal of Cuba from the U.S.'s terrorist watch list. The total length of the trip was 7 hours, from the time the Cuban delegation arrived in Belize to their departure. News 5's Paul Lopez reports.
Special sitting of the National Assembly. He will be meeting with Cuban collaborators as well as Cuban citizens.
His Excellency Dr. Miguel Diaz-Canel Bermudez, the first Secretary of the Cuban Communist Party and the President of the Republic of Cuba, touched down at the Philip Gosen International Airport on Sunday for a historic visit to Belize. The President was accompanied by his wife, Her Excellency Dr. Liz Cuesta Paraza, and a host of other Cuban dignitaries, including the Republic's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister of Public Health, Vice Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the Cuban Ambassador to Belize.
The official welcome.
Yes, that is Ambassador Amalia Mai, CEO of Foreign Affairs, meeting the President and his wife. Dr. Miguel Diaz-Canel Bermudez and his wife, Dr. Liz Cuesta Peraza. We have the President there himself on the dais receiving the salute and the national anthem.
Flanked by the Governor General of Belize, Dame Fruela Salam, and Belize's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Eamon Courtney, and his CEO, Amalia Mai, the Cuban president, his wife, and the rest of the Cuban delegation were escorted off the tarmac and transported to the government house under heavy security. Upon arrival at the government house in Belize City, Prime Minister John Briceño welcomed the Cuban president to Belize.
We have the arrival of His Excellency Miguel Díaz-Canel Bermudez along with his lovely wife.
Prime Minister John Briceño led the Cuban delegation to a brief meet and greet. Inside that room, the Governor General of Belize, Dame Fruela Salam, was seated next to the Cuban president. A bilateral meeting was held immediately following the meet and greet, where 2 cooperation agreements were signed between both nations.
Belize has had bilateral relations with Cuba for the past almost 28 years this coming year here, and Belize has had this exchange with Cuba in terms of medical trade, in terms of education and so forth, and it is just a wonderful moment to see them finally sitting in a room together here in Belize.
While the bilateral meetings were underway, invited guests began to arrive for a special sitting of the House of Representatives. The special sitting included members of the House of Representatives, members of the Senate, and a host of other guests, including members of the diplomatic community.
The president deserves only the best welcome from Belizeans. And so what I see over here is very impressive. I'm sure that he will love being in Belize.
I just got back from Cuba. Yes, I was there visiting with their parliament and their constitutional reform commission. As you know, we're going through the exact same process right now here in Belize. So we were there to learn how they consulted, what type of consultations, and the process that they use. So certainly this visit comes at a welcome time.
Do you think George Price would say right now if you were here?
He would say, "Welcome, Mr. President."
I feel very proud, very strong of that support, that bilateral relationship that we have had with Cuba. Historically, as many have pointed out, Cuba was one of the first countries that actually supported our bid for independence, and that is significant. When everybody else, was, making up their minds, Cuba was there with us in solidarity, and we have seen how that bilateral relationship has strengthened and grown over the years.
Following the hour-long bilateral meeting, Prime Minister John Briceño and President Miguel Díaz-Canel Bermudez led the way from inside the government house to the area prepared for the special sitting. Prime Minister Briceño was the first to give an address.
Your visit, the first state visit by a Cuban president, is yet another expression of this abiding friendship, and is most welcome by my government and the Belizean people. 5 months from now, Belize and Cuba will celebrate 28 years of diplomatic relations. These 28 years marked by a robust commitment to constructive and meaningful collaboration. This morning, our collaboration was further enhanced by the signing of 2 more agreements, an agreement on culture and a memorandum of understanding on immigration. Señor Presidente, the Cuban people hold a special place in the hearts and minds of Belizeans and of people all over the world because of their unparalleled generosity of spirit. We continue to urge the United States government to remove Cuba from the state sponsors of terrorism list, as there is no legal nor moral justification for Cuba to remain.
President Miguel Díaz-Canel Bermudez then made his address.
Over 1,000 Cubans have provided services in Belize since 1990, when the Cuban medical cooperation first started here. Other sectors have also benefited from our relations, including education, construction, sports, and culture. Today, 122 Cubans share their expertise with their brothers and sisters in the Caribbean in areas such as sports and healthcare. Dozens of young Cubans have benefited from the English language training programs offered by Belize. The pandemic was compounded by the flare-up of the commercial, economic, and financial blockade being imposed by the U.S., a policy that has been condemned by the people and government of Belize in a consistent fashion, and I thank you for that on behalf of Cuba. This visit is also a first step in compliance with the resolutions adopted at the 8th Cuba CARICOM Summit meeting. Let me confirm, rest assured, you will always be able to rely on Cuba in the face of the immense challenges ahead of the small state of immense spirituality such as ours. On your side, we will always be there. Long live the brotherly relations between Belize and Cuba.
Following the special sitting, the Cuban delegation attended a lunch at the House of Culture, featuring dishes prepared by renowned chef Sean Quillen. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
One of the key moments during the official state visit of the President of the Republic of Cuba on Sunday was the signing of 2 cooperation agreements between the governments of Cuba and Belize. One of those agreements is focused on cultural cooperation. The agreement, signed by Francis Fonseca, the Minister of Culture, and Bruno Rodriguez, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Cuba, outlines 10 areas of cooperation. The agreement promotes the exchange of artists and artistic groups, the exchange of commercial, promotional, and cultural heritage exhibitions, participation of artists and personalities in relevant festivals and cultural events, recognition of the value of festivals in the promotion of awareness across cultures, interest in the signing of exchange and cooperation agreements on copyrights, the exchange of experience in literary publications and books, and the exchange of specialized documentation and artistic and technical personnel for the holding of workshops, seminars, and conferences on cinema and audio-visual media. Police are looking for a man who they believe murdered his friend early this morning in Belize City. The incident happened in front of the victim's home just as he and his girlfriend had arrived. He was reportedly out socializing earlier with the alleged gunman, and things got out of hand. The two became embroiled in an altercation. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
Police are looking for a man they say was the gunman in an early morning murder that claimed the life of 21-year-old Andre Vernon. The KBH security guard had reportedly just arrived home on Madame Liz Crescent, where he was gunned down.
Andre Vernon, 21-year-old security guard, and his girlfriend arrived at home sometime around 2:08 a.m. and they were standing in front of their residence when a faded gold color Tribune passed them. The vehicle made a turn at the end of the street. The vehicle then came back, and a person exited one of the rear doors of that vehicle and fired several shots at Mr. Vernon, fatally injuring him.
Communications Director for the Belize Police Department, ASP Fitzroy Yearwood, said the vehicle sped off. Vernon died about 2 hours after being shot. While Yearwood did not delve too much into the circumstances leading to the murder, he did say that police are confident about who the gunman was and indicated that because it was not a gang-related incident, police do not expect any retaliation. Yearwood also had some advice for the gunman, who cannot be located.
We know exactly who we are looking for. So for us to rely on surveillance, like I said, we know who we are looking for. It's an isolated incident, so we don't expect any of that, but I would like to advise the assailant to come into the authorities and why run if you already committed yourself and you know that you were identified by several persons? Make life easier for yourself.
Vernon's family, his employers, nor his former school wanted to comment on his murder. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
This evening, police issued this poster asking the public to help locate this person they believe can assist them in a police investigation. They did not specify why they are looking for 36-year-old Jeffrey Ferguson. Police also shed light today on the murder of Auburn Rivera, whose body was found last Friday in the Lord's Bank area where he lived. Rivera was found on Old Well Road in Lord's Bank.
I've questioned several persons, but no arrest has been made as yet. But hopefully our investigators are following some leads that they believe would lead to some form of detention and probably even an arrest. So we're allowing them time to do their investigation.
Do they know where he was going when he was attacked?
Unfortunately, that was not revealed to me.
There was another murder in Toledo over the weekend. The police department's communications director, Fitzroy Yearwood, shared the details with the media today.
On Saturday, 11 February 2023, around 5 a.m., police visited a scene where they saw the motionless body of a male person with several stab wounds. Sebastian Cook, the village alcalde in San Isidro village, visited Picardo Road, about 200 meters off the highway, where he saw this body and contacted the authorities. This person has since been identified as Pablo Cook, 30 years, and of the same village. And the investigation revealed that sometime around 4:45 a.m., the deceased and his brother left home and en route to a bus to catch a passenger bus. They were on their way to work, a construction site located in Santa Cruz Village. But unfortunately, they were approached by a person that the police believe Mr. Cook had another incident with in December of last year, actually. And we know that we have 2 persons detained right now in connection with this incident. As soon as we have enough evidence to levy any charges, then we will inform you.
Coming up, will increments of public officers remain frozen? Find out the details when we come back.
Whether you're home or just home for the moment, the beauty that is Belize, every sun-kissed wave, every treasure discovered far beneath the surface, every pristine waterfall and majestic forest will captivate your senses and send your spirits soaring. With our fleet of comfortable, fast vessels and service second to none, San Pedro Belize Express is proud to be with you on every step of this breathtaking journey. Come ride with us to San Pedro or Key Caulker. We're your connection to the vibrant mystery of the jewel. The experience of a lifetime. San Pedro Belize Express Water Taxi. One wave, one journey, one magical moment at a time.
Belizeans deserve a fast, dependable, high-quality internet service in their homes for online, virtual classes, and to work from home. It's the new way of life. Diginet is the #1 fiber service that is powering Belize's digital transformation. And now, this reliable fiber service is even more affordable with our new entry plan. For a limited time only, you and your family can enjoy 20 megabits per second of fiber service to your home for only $49 monthly. No more missed classes and interrupted meetings. It's costing you time and money. Diginet is better than cable and better than wireless. Visit a Digistore today to sign up for the best home internet service in Belize. Come see what you've been missing. Same high quality, fast, and reliable fiber service, now at an even lower price. For more information, visit livedigi.com/Diginet. Digi, our national telecom.
It's time that we realize that we must work together to thrive. As we know it, the sky and below it. Could I never have more wonder? Yeah, with life and all you see and the climate's changing. But hope is remaining. That we can't ignore the future. It depends on you and me. One chance, all that we got. One voice, together we stand. Take care.
Again, we know you save up all year for our huge discounts at Universal Hardware's Friends and Family Sale. It's our chance to show our appreciation while you have a fun day with your entire family. Come meet our brand reps for Makita and Echo, and on Saturday you can check out the Bouncy Castle. Enjoy delicious food and drinks and walk away with unbelievable raffle prizes. Mark your calendars, February 16, 17, and 18 in Spanish Lookout. The final grand raffle is on Saturday at 5 p.m. We are your solutions provider.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
A working mission team from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, is in Belize. On Friday, Prime Minister John Bersenio met with Philip Jennings, the Executive Director for Canada, Ireland, and the Caribbean. Jennings and his team are in Belize conducting an Article 4 consultation assessing Belize's economic and financial developments. During these visits, the IMF team meets with several stakeholders, including opposition members, the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the unions. The team is also scheduled to discuss economic and financial policies with government and central bank officials. The increments for public officers and teachers have been frozen since the COVID-19 pandemic began 3 years ago. Increments are governed by public service regulations, and the joint unions negotiating team has been clamoring for their reinstatement. And with the budget presentation fast approaching, the unions are making their demands known. It is one of many contentious issues with the government of Belize. And at a press conference last week, the junta said, quote, April 1st, or else, unquote. This morning, the leadership of the Public Service Union, the Belize National Teachers Union, and the Association of Public Service Senior Managers appeared on Open Your Eyes to discuss just that. As yearly appraisals are being conducted, GOB's decision removed increments regardless of the outcome of the appraisal. PSU President Dean Flowers says it's a slap in the face that government wants to extend the increment freeze.
The economy is rebounding. The super bond has been restructured and we now have the blue bond. The government has now returned to the House after passing a $1 billion budget to pass supplementals in 1 year to the tune of $300 million. Which means that on the backs of public offices, fiscal space has been created for the government to continue the exact same thing that they criticized the Barrow administration of borrowing in your children's name. Now, the government came to us for a savings of 51 million over 3 years. They've spent 300 million in 1 year. Am I supposed to take them seriously when they speak about austerity? And then am I supposed to take them seriously and listen to them when they say they need to keep public offices increments frozen for an additional year with no guarantee that it will be reinstated in 2024? Because that is where the father slap in the face comes when the Prime Minister says that he's not prepared to reinstate anything, but he's prepared to resume. And he wanted to be clear on that. And he will resume on 2 conditions.
Those conditions include the need for a conversation on pension reform, an issue that PSU President Dean Flowers says has been kicked down the road by multiple administrations. But the unions agree it has to be addressed as it is unsustainable. A meeting is set for February 15th. So what is the new structure and how will it impact public officers and teachers?
Has been on the table for some time now, and it has to be addressed. I mean, we're not going to sit here and say that, in fact, we're not prepared to look at that, or we have not been prepared to look at it. But it is a separate conversation, and yes, it is important, because the truth of the matter is that there is one pie. People are living a little longer now, so it means that there is that burden that is placed on that pie, that one pie, to satisfy everything, right? That one pie being the consolidated funds, right? So that we have been, by means of our past collective bargaining agreements and the way that the Pension Act is presently set up, would have put ourselves in a position where, and would have signed on at the entry into the public service to be able and entitled to a pension. We are not, like I said, we are not saying that it is not important to address it. And maybe, yes, it should have been addressed a long time ago. We have said, okay, so let's look at it. Of course, it would have to, by contractual means, be placed on those who are coming in, as opposed to those who would have already signed on. And everywhere else, in other organizations, there have been contributory pensions that have set up.
Pension reform is on the table for discussion, but yeah, we have not come up with any proposal as yet, so we haven't tabled any proposal to the joint unions because we're not at that point yet. Once we have a proposal in place, of course we're going to table it for discussion with them, and we're going to approach it in a spirit of good faith, and hopefully we can arrive at some resolution. The bottom line is that we need pension reform. There's absolutely no question about that. The current structure is unsustainable, so we will have to have pension reform. The question is, what model will that take? What structure will that take? And when will it be implemented? Those are the discussions that we have to have.
Well, the February 15th meeting between negotiators from the government and the unions altered the union's position. This morning on Open Your Eyes, the union leaders were asked, what's next?
The there's a lot that needs to be discussed with this administration, and a lot that will be discussed. And as a leader, I will not allow any administration to think that they can simply come and impose more pain on the people that I represent.
I am hopeful. I can tell you what will happen beyond Wednesday. I am looking forward to that meeting. I'm hoping that it is very productive, and as Brother Dean is saying, we go with clean hands and hope for the best.
We must remember that we pay taxes as well. If you want to look at reforming pension, you have to also look at tax reform. And that has been our position, that we have to look at the tax, because we pay 25% off the top. We don't even see that. I mean, before we get our pay, that is out. Well, others are paying 6%. So we like to talk about, oh, the businesses are suffering, but we end up paying the 100% increase in goods and all of those kinds of things. We expect that the government team is going to be coming to those meetings with a collaborative mindset. You're not coming in there to dictate and say, we will do this, and you do what you did the last time and just go and pass a law. Because that is not how we should be working.
On Friday, the Ministry of Education met with the leadership of the Belize National Teachers Union. This was to discuss a collective bargaining agreement that had not been settled for 14 years. During that meeting, several issues, including Proposal 22, which looks at pensions for teachers, were also addressed. But is there a resolution on the horizon? Over the weekend, Education Minister Francis Fonseca told the media that a framework for moving forward has been established.
We were discussing the outstanding issues, and we generally, agreed to a framework for us to move forward to resolving those outstanding issues. So we're going to gather some information and data, and we're going to be meeting again the first week of April. And at that time, we hope to come to a resolution of these outstanding matters in respect of the CBA. Now, the joint unions, as you know, the joint unions is the BNTU, the PSU, the Public Service Union, and the APSSM, the Association of Managers. So that joint union, the JUNT, we will meet with them, and that's the government's negotiating team, which includes myself, the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of the Public Service, and Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance, Koyi. The four of us will meet with them on February 15th. And at that meeting, then we will discuss the issues you're talking about, the increments and these other matters. And we hope to arrive at some common ground on the 15th. When then we can then take that back to the Cabinet and the Prime Minister for further discussion and decision making.
After the break, inflation, biggest issue facing the agriculture industry. We'll tell you about that, but first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Special offer alert! Trade in your old device and active SIM and get a Samsung A04e for as low as $85, plus 50% off your Share One plan for the first 3 months. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. Now that's love. So this month, get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
My name is Carlton Jack Young, and I've been fishing in these waters for over 40 years. I used to work fishing when I was about 15 years old. I was the #1 fisherman for the Coop for many years. I was a member of the Fishery Advisory Board who makes decisions on these fishing areas.
Fishermen like Jack Young can tell you about a time when it seemed Belize's bounty was never ending.
And when we get alongside the boat and we check, we had 100 mutton snappers.
But he can also tell you about the alarming differences in the number of available reef fish, such as the Nassau grouper, from then to now.
The fishermen, they go out there and they sit there for hours before they could catch some of them. They are not there like they used to.
Nassau groupers reproduce between the months of December and March. To ensure a good catch the following season, fishing of Nassau groupers is closed during the spawning season and carefully regulated the rest of the year. During the open fishing season, Nassau groupers must be landed whole and may not be less than 20 inches or greater than 30 inches. In Belize, there are 13 spawning aggregation sites where Nassau groupers and other reef fish are protected. These are Rocky Point, Mauga Key, Dog Flea, Key Buckell, Northern Two Key, Sandbore, South Point, Key Glory or Emily, Northeast Point, Gladden Spit, Nicholas Key, Seal Key, and Rise and Fall Bank. Consumers have a part to play as well. By declining to purchase the critically endangered Nassau grouper, especially non-regulation size, you help ensure populations have a chance to restock. By adhering to regulations and protecting spawning sites, we can support fish stock replenishment and the livelihoods of future fishermen.
If they do it the right way, we might have it for a little longer. But if they don't do proper control, we'll lose it entirely.
It's been almost 3 years since the COVID-19 pandemic shattered the tourism industry. Thousands of people lost jobs and some small properties had to close down. However, since the restrictions were lifted and the borders reopened, tourism stakeholders have been monitoring the recovery. Minister of Tourism and Diaspora Relations, Anthony Mahler, gave us a breakdown of the 2022 tourism stats, saying that the prediction is for 2023 to be a bumper year.
In 2022, we were for overnight tourism, we were about 70% of where we were, so we did somewhere around 350,000 overnight. The cruise, we were about 50% of where we were, and so that's somewhere around 650,000. But this year looks like it's going to be a bumper year, and it's going to be closer towards to the numbers in 2019. So closer to 500,000 and closer to 1.2 million. For cruise. We've had that discussion and we have that understanding that the ships are much larger and they have a problem tendering for those sizes of ships. And so you have stake bank being built and then you have other developments on the table. And so it's going to take some time. I believe with stake bank coming on board soon that we will be able to keep the numbers up. But it's how you manage it.
That's not really a concern for the ministry.
Well, it's always a concern, but it's how you control the numbers, right? And what we've done is we have reached out to smaller cruise lines and bigger yachts to be able to come to Belize as well.
For perspective, the United Nations World Tourism Organization reported in November 2022 that international tourism was on track to reach 65% of pre-pandemic levels by the end of 2022. As of December 2022, the Statistical Institute of Belize reported that consumer prices were up 6.7% overall. The breakdown released by the SIB showed that prices for food and non-alcoholic beverages saw an increase of 13.8% for December 2022, the highest on record for that category in 14 years. Furthermore, the food subcategory alone had an inflation rate of 16% for that month, with considerably higher prices being seen across almost all essential food items. Belizeans may not need these statistics to know how challenging it is to meet basic needs, but the problem extends to the agricultural sector as well. According to the Minister of Agriculture, Food Security and Enterprise, Jose Mai, one of the most significant issues facing the agriculture industry is the high cost of production.
As you all know, costs of goods have gone up, costs of agro inputs, fertilizers, all materials used in agriculture have gone up, just like any other thing. And that is not only facing the dairy industry, but it's facing the banana industry, citrus industry, and sugarcane farmers. So all the sectors right now are having a difficult time with the high costs.
And the banana industry is also facing challenges. Agriculture Minister Jose Abelardo Mai confirmed that a disease has been affecting the production of the plants, hampering their exportation. That is compounded by the high cost of fertilizers used during production. He says production is expected to reduce between 600,000 and 1 million boxes. A few weeks ago, vendors in Belize City complained of not having access to the fruit. It's a staple for Belizeans, but according to Minister Mai, there is no shortage of bananas. However, the cost of getting them to vendors has been affecting the local market. Minister Mai says he is optimistic that the industry can be saved with government intervention.
They were telling me that it's not that there is a shortage, it is the cost of acquiring the banana, of going to look for it and taking it to the ripening house and distributing it. That cost has gone up. Because see, what we eat locally are bananas that do not make it to the export market. Now, those who want to buy bananas to sell in the local market go and they have to physically select that banana, pack it up, and then bring it to the ripening houses.
Which they get for free though?
Yeah, they get for free. Now, they are saying that the process of going to do that, taking their people to select the bananas, packing it in the truck, taking it in a ripening house, distributing it, has become expensive, and so they say they will pass on it. But to add to that, I will tell you that I've had 3 meetings with the banana people, and they are going through very difficult times. And if you didn't know this, I will also inform you that banana is highly dependent on fertilizers. In the sugar industry, we use 2 bags per acre per year. That's what we can afford. It should be more depending on your soil analysis. But bananas, they use 2 bags per month per acre. So that's an awful lot of fertilizer. And the cost of fertilizer has gone up by 300% in the last year. So last year, some producers were unable to fertilize the field. This has caused production to take a dive. Secondly, climate change has affected the banana industry tremendously. The change in rainfall pattern, the change in wind currents have caused the banana plantations to come under heavy attack of the sigatoka. Now, sigatoka is a disease that affects the leaves, and de-leaving has to occur to avoid further spread of the disease. When you remove the leaves, you stay with 3 functional leaves. Any banana plant that has 3 functional leaves, the fruit on that plant will not be able to export because it ripens on the voyage. And so we have high amounts of bananas that are left that cannot be exported. It has to be sold locally. Now, the other problem with the banana people is that while that banana is still exportable to other countries, the agreement they have with FIFES is that you cannot sell a banana to another country where FIFES has presence. Now, that's a more complicated matter, right?
2 weeks ago, a concerned father sent an email to the media with a list of documents and timelines of a disturbing report of predatory behavior by a teacher at Canaan Seventh-day Adventist High School, and what he saw as the inefficiencies in the school's management to adequately remedy the situation. The story has struck a chord with parents across the country. The BNTU and Education Minister have spoken against the situation. But while any teacher deemed a threat to any student should be removed from the classroom, there has to be due process, and any allegation has to be supported by evidence. The lack of timely response has led the father to withdraw his child from the school. On Thursday, Ministry of Education officials met with the student's father over the allegations. The meeting was with CEO Diane Mejia and Chief Education Officer Yolanda Gongora. Minister Fonseca shared details of what they wanted to achieve.
The ministry, of course, reported to him what has been done so far. And we express support for a full and thorough, already there's been a preliminary investigation, but we appreciate that more has to be done. And what's most important, and I think this was very important to the parent, is that we have to put in place a very clear structure that will ensure that this kind of delay in reporting the matter to the relevant authorities does not happen again. I think that's the primary concern of the parent. He understands what has happened to his child, the allegation, and he wants to ensure that that does not happen to any other child at any other school. So we had a very good, I think, discussion with the parent, and some of it, as you said, it's very personal stuff. So I don't want to discuss that. But of course, we talked also about the future of his child in terms of her education. The whole idea is the process of reporting, so that when an allegation is made, we all have to be accountable. So when an allegation is made, teachers, principals, managers, the Ministry of Education, all of us have to know exactly what procedures to follow when that type of allegation is made, and there should be no delay in that process.
Retired Major Herman Gilbert Suazo is the new ombudsman. The former Ports Commissioner was appointed as ombudsman in December of 2022 to succeed Lionel Arzu, who held the post for 8 years from 2013 to 2021. Suazo was officially sworn in on Friday for 3 years, effective January 1st, 2023. When we return, Tourism Ministry launches music studio for access by Belizean artists.
Environmentally degradable plastics, or EDP, are plastics that are affected by a combination of environmental conditions that cause the plastic to break down within an acceptable time frame. They are specifically designed to degrade into carbon dioxide, water, and other biomass substances. The level of breakdown can vary based on standard test methods appropriate to the plastic. Click on the link below to see what you can do to help end the nightmare of single-use plastics. I'm Alison Castillo, and now you know.
In just 2 years in office, the government of Belize has reversed the trend of financial ruin that afflicted the country and has injected new energy into the economy and people. This energy and investment has resulted in the growth of our business, productive and tourism sectors, and our unemployment rate now stands at an unprecedented and historic 5%. Today, all those people who want to work are able to find work. The government did not waste years talking about the minimum wage without doing anything. There was a commitment under Plan Belize, and today our people can earn a living wage of $5, up from $3.30. When we all work, we all win. This is a government which works with the people. This is a government delivering on Plan Belize.
On behalf of the Social Security Board, I extend our deepest gratitude for taking the opportunity offered to be a part of this amazing learning experience. Today, you graduate empowered with knowledge. You graduate with a new skill set that you can put to good use and benefit from it. You have now acquired the knowledge and you are fully prepared to build on the foundation that you have fostered.
We consider ourselves privileged to be offered an opportunity by the Belize Social Security Board to partner with them in this effort.
What I can say is that I'm happy because I'm learning in something that I choose to do.
So we want to thank Social Security Board to provide the funding for that, and we appreciate it, and we hope they continue to provide opportunities like this for more people. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations to the January 2023 cohort Empowering You participants. On behalf of the Social Security Board, I wish you nothing but the very best.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Do you have information about a crime or a fugitive in our community? You can submit a tip anonymously with your smartphone. Using this program in safeguarding our community also protects your identity, keeping you out of the court system, and could earn you a cash reward. Here is how it works. Download the free P3 Tips app from the Apple Store or Android Market. P3 is the provider of our secure anonymous tip collecting software. Open the app and create a PIN, but be sure to remember that number, then select your location. Next, select the type of crime. When submitting a tip, be as specific as possible. If you have a picture, video, or audio that will help officers, you can upload them from your phone. Information leading to an arrest can earn you a cash reward of up to $1,000. Once your tip is submitted, you'll be given a tip ID and password. Check back if your tip leads to an arrest. You'll be told how much you were rewarded and how to anonymously collect your cash.
What do you serve the Cuban president and his delegation on an official state visit to Belize? Well, the government turned to chefs Sean Quillen and Ener Marin for a Belizean-inspired cuisine to excite the palate of the Cuban president and his delegation. Belizean parliamentarians and others all invited guests. News 5 was able to get a quick interview with the chefs.
Cuba, so they do things that we don't have, and I really, like I hear they don't got can, they don't eat coconut. I don't know if I see everybody that. They don't eat pepper. They don't eat pepper and namu. So I can't put black pepper, I can't put habanero, but we do spice up the things in different ways, no? Classic hudut, and we have people here, protocol, we have the chefs and stuff from yesterday, and they've been monitoring us, and they approve because we give them some of this man in it. So they really so hudut like coconut milk, fish, no pepper. What else do we have for them? We have braised beef, short rib, sweet potato, a lot of veggies like okra and radish and chocho, things that grow from Belize, of course.
For dessert, we made a basil mint and cilantro sponge cake, fresh lime curd, a passion mango milk ganache, and inside we have fresh lime meringue with brown sugar crumble and a white rum ganache, white rum gel on top.
On Saturday, the Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations officially launched the Reef Recording Studio as a space for Belizean artists to record their songs and improve their craft. The creation of the recording studio was made possible through a partnership between several ministries and the Inter-American Development Bank. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports on the launch of the music studio.
It's been about a year and a half in the making, and on Saturday, the Reef Recording Music Studio was launched. The request was for the studio to be world-class, with all the technology necessary to produce music, including a vocal room and a space for the producer.
I believe that music and culture play an important part in the tourism product, and so I saw the need for high-quality recording from the music industry here in Belize, and we got the support of the IDB to invest in these studios. It has to be something that could compete anywhere in the world, and they've done that here at the Reef Studio, and so I'm proud of it, and my colleagues are proud of it, and all the people from the Belize Tourism Board and the Ministry of Tourism and Diaspora Relations are proud of what we've accomplished here. We want to show Belize that we can have good things here. Now it's just how we manage it, how we respect the equipment that are in there.
Initially, the recording studio project was not included in a larger tourism project funded by the Inter-American Development Bank.
We had to think this as an integral policy. You can't think about youth without education. You can't think about tourism without culture. So this is great to have this as a policy, as a state policy, looking ahead in the long run, but thinking once again as an integral way to think and to approach to this topic.
The music studio will support youth and Belizean talents who need opportunities to develop their craft. Expressive arts is a fundamental component of the new national curriculum framework, which features music education, and art education is a part of primary and secondary schools. Minister of Culture and Education, Francis Fonseca, speaks of this tangible support.
This new recording studio, music studio, will, provide our young creative musicians with an opportunity for them to come in and record their music using state-of-the-art equipment in a really model professional studio. One of the big complaints we hear from our musicians is that we don't have a really good professional music studio in Belize where they can record their music. So, that's the whole idea behind this project. This is a perfect example of tangible support, giving them a music studio that will allow them, as I said, to go in, record their music, and hopefully, be able to earn a living off that music.
100 artists will have access to the facility. A similar project will be launched in Orange Walk, in the west and in the south.
I hope that Dangria will get their studio likewise very soon, Minister Marla. Well, I hail from the area of culture capital, and there are many talented young people around there. So I believe that will be maybe the next on the agenda after Orange Walk. But together, I'm sure we can make it happen.
The value of the Belize City recording studio is $85,000. A contribution of about $50 will be charged for the usage of the studio by artists. Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Cyclist Marlon Castillo continues to recover from an unfortunate mishap at his butchery that caused him to lose his right hand. And tonight, his family is making a public appeal for support to purchase a bionic arm for Castillo. They have established a GoFundMe page with the title Marlon the Diesel Castillo to raise the $25,000 needed to cover all of Castillo's medical expenses. We spoke with the sister of the prominent cyclist who told us more about the fundraising initiative.
His GoFundMe page, the main aim of it is to raise money to cover his medical expenses and for him to receive a bionic arm, which is basically an arm which works by sending signals between the brain and the muscles for his arm to work as close to a human arm as possible. Currently, the arm alone, we're looking around $25,000. That's without, the medical expenses and the physical therapy which will be entailed afterwards. We are in talks with multiple doctors and multiple distributors because we're trying to keep our options as open as possible. It would mean the world to Marlon. It would allow him to get back, something that resembles close to his old life. He'll be able to continue working at his meat shop. He will be able to get back to the sport that he loves the most, cycling. Marlon is a young man. Him and his partner do not have any children. His bank account number is available, and there is a GoFundMe set up. If you go to GoFundMe.com, you can search for the GoFundMe under Marlon the Diesel Castillo. First of all, we would just like to thank everybody who has already donated. It means the world to us and to Marlon. Thank you so much. I cannot put into words how much we appreciate it. And to anybody who hasn't donated, I ask kindly that you even share a 50 cent, $1, anything we appreciate.
2 weeks ago, a man was found dead inside his home, and now following a post-mortem examination, police have launched an investigation into his death. That's because the post-mortem revealed that the man died from blunt force trauma. Richard Thurton was reportedly found dead inside his home on Penn Road. Still, police have just begun their investigations to determine how Thurton suffered the injuries. ASP Yearwood shared what they know about Thurton's death.
A post-mortem examination was conducted. This is a resident of number 51 corner Niels Penn Road and Fairweather Street, where in the post-mortem it revealed that he died from blunt trauma and several bruises were observed to his body. I know that we at the police department are investigating the cause of his death, and as soon as we have information, that also will be shared with you.
Police have charged a man with arson in connection with a fire last Friday that destroyed a house at Tropical Park in Hattieville. 68-year-old Bernard Moore told police that he set some bushes on fire and that the fire spread to the house. But Moore was charged, and today he appeared before a magistrate to answer to the charge of arson. The retiree of Castle Street was offered and met bail of $5,000 plus a surety of the same amount on the condition that he is not to leave the country without the court's permission. After he met bail today at court, he spoke to us. News 5's Marian Ali reports.
I was at my property and there was a couple of two big woodlice nests. Okay. And I tried to burn the woodlice nest because the woodlice used to go on my house. Okay. And it happened that it was a breezy day and the fire had got out of handling.
Bernard Moore finds himself facing a charge of arson, a crime that is punishable with jail time. Moore indicated to the court that he was shocked to be charged because he had indicated to the homeowner that he would help to rebuild the house.
It was an honest mistake. The guy that owns the building, even though me and him had spoken, according to the officer, he decided that he was going to go ahead with pressing charge. They gave me a paper that the guy said the house cost $65,000 and the contents in there is $75,000.
The Belize Police Department's Communication Director, ASP Fitzroy Yearwood, shed more light on the incident.
The house belonged to Mr. Marlon Longsworth, who was not at home at that time. He was at work. He was informed that his house was engulfed in flame, and unfortunately, he lost everything.
The fire department's station manager, Kenneth Mortis, called the fire a freak accident.
That was a freak accident that turned out costly for the occupants of the house over in Tropical Park, Hattieville area. From what the fire department investigation concludes was that Mr. Bernard Moore, I believe his name is, he was paid to do a job in terms of cleaning an open area of land. He lit fire to a woodlice nest, and apparently for some reason unknown, he turned away and left that fire unattended. If we all can recall, the Friday afternoon was a very windy day, and the wind caught a hold of that fire and destroyed the neighboring structure.
The homeowner, Marlon Longsworth, had reportedly just furnished the house and moved in on Christmas Eve. The property was insured, but for future reference, Mortis warns against setting a bushfire irresponsibly.
You must be doing this kind of burning with some level of responsibility. Tie in with the forest department or tie in with somebody specializing in an open fire. You just don't want to go light a fire and go about happy-go-lucky leaving that fire unattended. This will be the outcome. This will definitely be the results.
Bernard Moore must appear in court on April 4th. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
A man lost his life in a traffic accident early this morning on the Philip Gosen Highway. Beside him, police found a mangled motorcycle that the victim was driving. Police believe he may have died on impact.
Police responded to reports of a lifeless body between miles 64 and 65 on the Philip Gosen Highway. That would be in San Pablo Village. Upon arrival, they observed a Hispanic male person, and next to him was a motorcycle, a life-hand motorcycle. They also revealed that at around 7 p.m. last night, the deceased Ian Glenn Lanza, 31 years, of Caledonia Village, Corozal, was socializing at a bar in that village, and this morning he was found near a culvert, apparently dead, no? So investigators are still trying to put together what took place between 7 p.m. or after he left that bar and this morning a little before 7.
Up next, Excelsior High School football drought ends after 2 decades, and Belizean karate athletes shine in Costa Rica.
Ray, what's wrong? It's him. He hit me again. Oh my gosh. This time it was worse. He slammed my face in the wall and threatened to kill me. If you or someone you know is experiencing family violence, call 0800-A-WAY-OUT. Or you can text or WhatsApp to 672-9628.
You know the saying, desperate times call for desperate measures. What do you do when you get to a dead end? Sometimes life just doesn't go the way we planned it to go. And when you're in those seasons of life, what do you do? Where do you go? Who do you turn to? Join Sagebrush Church as we begin our series, Dead End Desperation, where we'll talk about following God in some of the hardest moments of our lives. Be sure to visit sagebrush.church or download the Sagebrush app for locations, service times, and more.
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited postpaid plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Good night and welcome to another edition of Sports Monday. I am your host, Paul Lopez. Here's wishing you a great start to the week. It was an exciting weekend in sports for Belize, locally and internationally. Let's kick off tonight's sports coverage right here at home, where the Central Secondary School Sports Association's football season came to an end with 2 teams being named champions. On Thursday of last week, finalists Wesley College's girls and St. Catherine Academy girls went head-to-head to see who would dominate the 2023 season. Well, folks, number 16 for Wesley College, Zaria Gentle, wasted no time in scoring the match's first goal. In the 5th minute of playtime, she placed her team on top with 1 goal. And that would be the story of the match. St. Catherine made every effort to respond, but ultimately, that first goal at the start of the game sealed Wesley's victory and made them the 2023 CSSA champions in football. In the second match of the finals, it was Excelsior High School men's team against the Maud William High School men's team. Excelsior High School displayed dominance on the field, ending the game with 5 goals to the opponent's 1 goal. The man of the match was Raheem Herbert. He finished with a hat-trick, scoring the team's first goal in the 9th minute, and following that in the second half with a second goal in the 42nd minute and a third goal in the 55th minute for that hat-trick. This win is historic for Excelsior High School as it brings an over 2-decade losing streak to an end.
Well, it's historic, you know. It's the first time in almost 23 years of drought that we hadn't won a championship. And it also entails that the Southside community is able to produce talented footballers. And we do have, at this present moment in the school, footballers that are export prospects. As you can see in social media, we have become the most topic talk about. The Cali boys actually did well, and the support from Mrs. Waters, from the staff members on while the competition was ongoing, was also vital for us to have the victory. And I believe the boys, yes, they do. They must feel like celebrities because they are celebrities.
We had a mindset that we want to win and we should work as a team, work together.
It was a bit of a challenge because sometimes we had homework and we had to try do our homework after practice.
I thought that ladies could make it and that we'd try to change that to make them say that how not only boys go play football.
It was a bit hard because SCA came back harder than before. We already won against them 4-1, so they came back harder to try and beat us.
The Nationals is scheduled for this weekend in San Pedro. Digi and the Cycling Federation of Belize held its 27th annual Digi Valentine's Tour over the weekend. 12 riders competed in the junior category of the race. A total of 53 riders raced in the open elite category. 6 women competed in the women's category. In stage 1 of the classic, the open elite category rode for 58 miles, while the women and juniors rode for 38 miles. For the tour's first leg, the top 3 elites were first place winner was Sani Castro, second place went to Sherwin Budna, and Henry Lee took the third place position. In the women's category, Kaya Catus took first place, followed by Patricia Chavarria and Paulita Chavarria in third place. In the junior category, it was Jalen Briseño for first place, Tyler Tejera in second, and Jamari Mori in third.
What we did was, since the race was short, we rode the race early, so we sent 2 of our guys up front in the break to give the other riders that wasn't in the break, to chase us and not burn out most of their legs. And when I felt like it was my time to go after 75% of the race with my teammates in front, I guess it was unexpected, and they couldn't catch back up to me.
Right now, a little bit tired, but I don't get back my energy. I have to save it for the time trial.
Time trial this afternoon.
I know Tyler is very good at the time trial, so at least I made up some time, so in case he beats me on the time trial, it's not by a lot.
Okay.
So I can make up back for a time.
The second leg of the tour was all about time trials. But the third stage, a 100-mile race from Leslie Imports on the George Price Highway to the Philip Gosson Highway's Boom Road Junction and back for 2 laps, ultimately decided the victors in this tour. In the end, Wasani Castro was named the overall winner in the elite category. Kaya Catus secured first place overall in the women's category. We say congratulations to all riders who participated in this tour. And now for some karate action. 5 athletes traveled from Belize to San Jose, Costa Rica to compete in the Central American Karate Championships. They are Julie Cruz, Keenan Timbrell, Jaden Tillett, Malachi Garcia, and Shaim Tablada. On Saturday, 3 of those athletes secured bronze medals. They are U14's Jaden Tillett, Keenan Timbrell, and Julie Cruz. In the U21 category, Shaim Tablada was crowned the male Kumite sub-champion. Also coming out of this weekend's event in Costa Rica, 3 Belizeans, Rita Fernandez, Christine Norley Nichols, and Kimberly Bowman received their license to officiate karate championships in Central America. We congratulate everyone who has contributed their time and effort to this discipline's success in Belize. And that is all we have for you tonight. Until next time.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us. And from all of us here at News 5, good night.